a lot of people look at leadership as a hierarchical thing. Once you get there, it's because you know everything, you've done everything, and you're there just to be seeking advice from. But actually, in a position of leadership, I think the onus is on you even more to be a good listener, to understand your team and to listen to what they have to say, their ideas, their concerns, to understand you're continually learning. And so that's what you need to do, to listen, to ask questions. And I think seeking to understand what you can do to empower and to create opportunities for people coming up through the ranks, to always be thinking, who is the next leadership?
Hello everyone, I'm Trevor Ling, a partner in the Crowe's corporate tax team in London. I'm delighted to be here today for our next interview in our new podcast series, Leading Her Way, which celebrates and showcases the journeys and achievements of some of our female leaders at Crowe and highlights the projects being led by our Women's Empowerment Programme. I'd like to introduce you to my colleague Vicky Nicoll, a director in our corporate tax team who I've worked with for 3 years. Welcome, Vicky.
Thank you, Trevor. Very good to be here.
So firstly, can I ask you why WEP is so important to you and the firm?
To me, the most important thing is the E in WEP, which stands for empowerment. And for me, that means to enable someone to feel capable and to feel equipped to reach their goals and their potential in a way that they want to do it. So not just relevant to women, but when WEP was established, it was because it was observed that there were less female partners than there maybe could or should be. And so trying to understand how we could help empower people to make a decision to move into leadership and to discover what support or what development training they might need, that's very important to me. So a lot of the WEP initiatives are not just focused at women, they're focused on all-encompassing events to help identify ways to unlock individuals' pathways to get to that next stage or to get to a leadership role.
So moving on from your time at Crowe, what challenges have you faced since you've been here?
Well, I've been at Crowe 3 years. Over that 3-year period, the London corporate tax team, of which I'm one of the directors, has doubled in size. So the challenges of how you manage and grow a team to work efficiently and effectively together has been a real challenge. And so creating the time and indeed the ideas and initiatives around how to do that alongside a demanding day job has been challenging. But I do think I love that sort of area. I think I can bring leadership skills to that area. And so I have been quite involved in that. I see quite a lot of senior women doing this and stepping in on these sorts of non-chargeable areas and often receiving feedback or input to say, actually, focus on leadership means probably dropping some of these things and focusing more on the client side of things. But actually, I think a balance needs to be understood or sort of acknowledged there, because it is a particular sort of skill set and it is inherent to successful and sustainable growth for a firm to have a highly efficient, high-performing team to deliver the work that you need.
You mentioned skills. So what skill do you think you do bring to this? Just particular skill do you focus on?
I think I'm a bit of a perfectionist to start with, so I do like to sort of stop and address I think things could be done better, whether that's people being better at their housekeeping and how they're servicing that element of a client. I like to get involved with, and I think true and clear thinking and understanding and adoption of the right processes in that area helps. We need to listen to people. We need to understand how to bring people on that journey to be engaged with that side of things. I think I'm an excellent multitasker. So I can arrange for time and ways of doing that I don't think impacts my transactional day-to-day tax work.
The risk of saying, no, you definitely do manage my time really well as well. So how do you think the work has supported your career progression so far?
For me, it's been a great space to reflect openly and to do that with people who are at a similar stage in their career. Some people who have already reached partnership stage, but other people who are thinking about moving into that space. But to do it with people outside of my department, to do it with there's a Chatham House rules thing, a chance to challenge each other safely, honestly. That's what I've loved about the last year of the peer group mentoring. But WEP as a wider initiative is so all-embracing, and I think is a very useful group with a lot of talented people in there exploring some of these issues in a sensitive way and in an all-encompassing way.
Excellent, that's really good. Could you share with us a personal story, maybe a strategy or any practical advice for the next generation of female leaders in a professional services firm?
In terms of practical advice, I think I suppose picking up on elements that I've spoken about earlier, it's, yes, there's the technical side of understanding a commercial opportunity and a business case to progress, but actually bringing it back to you and understanding what you bring to the table, what you enjoy doing, how you can make a difference, what you're passionate about, and making sure that means something to you so that next step into leadership is authentic and it's going to have the longevity and the permanence for you to help you with the energy to do that. Because I think it is a different space to be a partner rather than an employee. So if it's not congruent to how you want to do it, and even if that impacts the timing of it or the space that you step into from a commercial side of things, making sure it fits well with you, I think is probably the most important thing. And a second thing is, again, coming back to that peer group mentoring, having your network around you, having the people around you that can celebrate with you, that can commiserate with you, that can reflect with you, having a trusted group of people, not just in your firm, but people who you can trust to be honest with you, is very important.
You've obviously worked in other firms before. How does Crowe compare to that?
I would say Crowe is inherently supporting at every level you look at and at every office, at every department you look at. I've never worked somewhere where genuinely, and I still say this 3 years in, so many people have taken a genuine interest in what I do, how they can help, how they can support, asking me how I can support. It's incredibly open and transparent in how it wants to do business and incredibly authentic. It lives the values it speaks.
Excellent. Incredibly useful advice. What qualities do you think are important as a leader? Is there anything you look for in terms of a role model?
A lot of people look at leadership as a hierarchical thing. Once you get there, it's because you know everything, you've done everything, and you're there just to be seeking advice from. But actually, in a position of leadership, I think the onus is on you even more to be a good listener, to understand your team and to listen to what they have to say, their ideas, their concerns, to understand you're continually learning. And so that's what you need to do, to listen, to ask questions. And I think seeking to understand what you can do to empower and to create opportunities for people coming up through the ranks, to always be thinking, who is the next leadership?
So it's our last question. This is one that previous guests left for you. So how have you built confidence and resilience over the course of your career?
I think to put your hand up for any opportunity that comes your way. You learn from everything that you do, both things that go well and things that maybe don't go so well, but putting your hand up, getting involved, challenging yourself, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, and then soon enough you are the one with the experience. You've learnt to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, and you're continually learning. So I think that's how I've built up a bit of a, not shield, but resilience, I suppose, to proving that you can handle situations will allow you to handle further situations.
What do you think the thing you've volunteered, put your hand up for, that's been most fulfilling for you?
I think the classic public speaking. No one likes it naturally, or I've yet to meet someone who does like it naturally or is honest when they when they say that. So practicing that, getting in front of as many people in as many situations as you can only be a good thing, because I do think the public speaking helps with your one-to-one dialogue with people, the networking, putting yourself in an uncomfortable position, networking. I would say my biggest challenge for me actually was saying yes to Crowe, because it was at a time that I wasn't sure whether I should leave or join something else. But when I met Crowe and when I met the subsequent teams at Crowe, taking that leap to jump and come to a new firm back in London is definitely one of my biggest payoffs.
Good, that's brilliant to hear. Just one final thing. So what question would you like to leave for our next guest?
My next question is, if you were not an accountant working in professional services, what would your dream job look like?
Okay, that's a brilliant question. We'll pass that one on. So that's all we've got time for today. Thank you for joining us, Vicky.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks to everyone for watching. And I hope you'll tune in for our next interview in this series of Leading Her Way.